Joining us now here at Post 9 is Tom Lee, Fundstrat Global Advisors, Head of Research, and Fundstrat Capital, Chief Investment Officer, also a CNBC contributor. Good to have you, Tom. So how are you, if we could just take a step back, how are you thinking about the whole Nvidia phenomenon at $4 trillion against this backdrop of just broad AI demand, as well as just appetite in the market for kind of this risk-on sentiment as made evident by the Bitcoin move?
Well, to me, Nvidia being the most valuable company in the S&P makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's scarce. I mean, how many Nvidias are there in the world, right? There's 50,000 stocks. There's one Nvidia. And so it is scarcer than, like, Da Vinci. So I do think the multiple at around 30 times is actually not that extended, given how important they are to the AI ecosystem. So I think there's earnings visibility and then there's multiple expansion potential.
Multiple expansion potential for Nvidia as well as just the broader NASDAQ from here. Do you think there are significant catalysts to the upside?
Yeah, I think to the extent that there's companies that are producing durable, sustained earnings growth, whether it's the Palantirs or the Nvidias or the Teslas of the world, they do deserve higher multiples. And you know, something that we've been writing about is how this market endured 6 essentially black swans in the last 5 years, thrived in terms of earnings. Normally, we would assign a higher market multiple to that. And believe it or not, the mean S&P PE, so if you do the S&P equal weight, was 17.9 on the eve of COVID. It's about 0.7 turns lower today. We're like at a 16 mean multiple, meaning the market got cheaper after 6 black swans. I almost think we should be expanding that PE.
There are some complaints this morning about, again, market concentration, right? When you got the top 10, is it 40% of market cap? Something. Nvidia alone's almost 8%.
That's right. But then again, these exact companies are a huge share of earnings growth, you know? So I think that the S&P is benefiting from the fact that it is sitting at the center of AI, which is a huge global driver of CapEx spend. It's going to help S&P earnings. And then the other piece is, of course, financial innovation, which is taking place. I mean, Circle and the cryptos have shown that that's another piece where there's a lot of earnings growth. And again, that's a growing share of the S&P.
Tom, I wanted to spend a minute, if I can, talking about a company called BitMine Emergent Technologies. You recently became chairman of that company, correct?
Yes, that's right.
I want to ask you a few things and just see if I got this right. Now, the stock I mentioned, it hit 161 very recently. It's been very volatile. The company did a PIPE, 250 million, I think sold as many as 55 million shares at, I guess, 450 or so a share, correct?
Yes.
Those shares have not yet been registered. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
They will eventually be registered.
Okay. I want to make that point because, you know, when you look at FactSet, you got 6 million shares out. It's a 300 million or so market cap, but that's not the case. This has got 61 million shares outstanding, at least, and a market value, therefore, even at 55, that is many billions of dollars, correct?
That math works.
Okay.
I'm following your math.
You're going out, you're spending the $250 million to buy Ether, is my understanding, or maybe a little Bitcoin, but mostly Ether.
Yes, it is for Ethereum.
Okay. And so this trades at a huge multiple to the amount of Ether you conceivably could buy with the money that was raised in the PIPE.
Yes. I mean, in the press release, you know, there's a sort of a discussion about Ethereum treasury strategies, and to us, there is like a logic to what these companies are trying to do, because one, they're actually going to be using whatever relative premium exists to actually use capital markets to grow their Ethereum holdings.
Okay, so meaning what, you can add value to the overall holdings that you have through things that can be done in the Ethereum ecosystem.
Yes, as well as like taking advantage of the premium that exists in capital markets activities.
I see.
And of course, you know, I think that there is really a rediscovery of Ethereum that's taking place, because Ethereum itself is one of the best performing crypto assets. You know, it's up, I mean, annualizing,
right.
It's really taken off recently because the stable coin is the ChatGPT moment for crypto. Circle has blown the doors open. There's a lot of interest now on Wall Street getting involved with Ethereum and building stable coins. That's 30% of Ethereum's network usage today.
Right. But it is a technology in addition to, it's not just like Bitcoin, which is sort of seen as
That's right.
Almost a gold. It is a technology. I mean, it could lose market share as well, couldn't it, to the likes of Solana?
That's true, but when you see like the JP Morgan stablecoin, it's being built on Ethereum.
Right.
Robinhood is building their tokenizing business on Ethereum. So as what they call a layer one, Ethereum is like the preferred choice for Wall Street. It already is more than 60% of all the tokenized real-world assets, and I think that share is growing. If stablecoins grow to over $2 trillion, as Treasury Secretary Bessent predicts, that's an exponential usage of Ethereum and the Ethereum token. So It's really positive for Ethereum. And incidentally, the Circle trades at around 100 times EBITDA.
Understood. But I just want to make the point to people who are buying the stock, because you have a big following, a retail following as well, that they are paying many multiples of the value of the Ether you're buying at this point. My understanding as well is you have an at-the-market share program also. Isn't that correct?
Yes. There is an S3 that has been filed. I'm not really able to comment on, what I would see as the valuation of the company, but
well, I can do it right now based on the number of shares that are outstanding, which is something like 60+ million, and then I don't know what you're selling under the ATM, and I multiply it by 55, and I get a number that's above $3.5 billion.
I believe your math is correct.
Okay.
I would trust your math.
All right, so that's 11, 12 times the value of the Ether that you have. I mean, I'm just doing quick math here.
Yeah, or it depends on really how much is being accomplished through all these combination of activities as well.
Okay. All right.